I'm in Kingston, Jamaica, staring at an absolutely incredible sunset. But we all know what's coming in the next couple of days. Every hazard when it comes to hurricanes is on the table, from storm surge, major hurricane with winds exceeding 150 miles per hour, and flooding. Not just any kind of flooding though. Hurricane Harvey levels of flooding. I've spent the day going throughout the city talking with people, lifelong residents, to see how they're trying to prepare for Hurricane Melissa.
Based on the projections that I'm seeing, yeah, I think it's gonna be awful.
Jamaica's been writing about hurricanes since the 1500s, but this one, Melissa, could be the worst in modern history. Despite centuries of close calls, Jamaica's never taken a direct hit from a major hurricane. But in the Caribbean lately, that history doesn't matter. Last summer, Hurricane Beryl ripped across Carriacou, Grenada. It was the strongest storm that tiny island had ever seen. Melissa could bring that same fury or worse. So I went to one of Jamaica's oldest and most vulnerable villages to see what it means to face that kind of fear head on.
What's the plan?
Not moving right here.
I'm in the tiny village of Port Royal. It sits out in the bay on a tiny sliver of land near Kingston. Now, it is a very vulnerable location. It's very low-lying. Again, just a thin sliver of land. But the folks who live here, despite being under a mandatory evacuation, they're not leaving.
Right now, I'm just here doing my ropes to go secure my boats.
Fishing here isn't just a job, it's a life, a tradition that's survived for centuries. Deep water, small boats, a bond so strong they give these boats names. Ever done that with your work computer? The village sits at the end of a 10-mile-long thin spit of sand. 2,000 people or so call it home, and few are ever willing to leave it. Their lives revolve around the sea. Their homes, their faith, their future, all tied to it. Darren's one of them. He's seen storms come and go his whole life.
Born and growing here.
So, with Melissa, what are you guys thinking?
Well, as what we see, it's developing, but we're not really leaving. It's going more westward of us. So, what we're really doing is just the precaution that they take up the boats because of the storm surge and stuff, but we don't get much storm surge here. So we're inside a peninsula. The open seas outside. We're inside a peninsula. We have 7 keys out there with a lot of reef. It's just like a barrier reef. You see, other people, they don't really know this.
People panic for you guys, but you guys are just shrugging it.
Yes. They're full mode panic. Our high tide is 18 inches. Most we get water is right where you see the goats. Yeah. That's where the water will be coming up from the just right there. That's it. Probably. That's right at your
ankle deep, huh?
It's not no height. You're maybe down 10 foot like that.
Wow.
Ask the same question, get the same answer. No one alive has seen a deadly storm surge here, or even water above the knees into the heart of the village.
So it's not like Port Royal has just remained unscathed throughout the decades from hurricanes. This was a foundation of buildings from 1951, and the hurricane that hit there clearly did not survive. But they've since obviously built other structures soon after, when the English were still in charge, like this building right there, and they've survived the subsequent storms since the 50s. But again, is Melissa going to be different? And that could be a problem, especially when it comes to hurricanes. People often base their decisions on what happened the last time. A decision that can obviously become tragic because the current storm, Melissa, could bring unprecedented conditions here to Jamaica.
Well, we don't have no flooding here, most likely. We just get high rise. High rise of tide, the water rise.
The surge, yeah.
And the surge go but so far. And we deal with that over and over. So I don't take it that scary, you know? If you like a tsunami, you know, or something, we would wash the whole goddamn place off. I'd probably get my ass out of here.
Well, I mean, that's what's in the worst case scenario storm surge will do. I mean,
right,
I've seen storm surge 17 feet in Fort Myers, Florida,
Florida.
where I saw houses being lifted away and carried away. You know, that's
We're trying to get the older folks. The more likely every hurricane time we try to move them out. The bus come, we ensure the older folks and the mothers and kids aboard the bus and leave. We as fishermen, we stay and monitor the village and keep ensure that everything is all right. I'm sure when the weather gets real serious, we have to stay in. We cannot do nothing more than stay in till after.
Sometimes it takes seeing to believe. But this belief isn't the only thing keeping people here. It's also the memories of what happened the last time they left. Promises of safety at the shelters inland that never felt safe.
A couple of storms ago, they had some people went to the shelter and the storm was passed off, and for weeks people is there, can't get no transport to come home, nothing like that and stuff like that. So it is just it deters all these people to go there.
You can already see the waves being generated by Hurricane Melissa crashing along the coast here in Kingston, and it also points to the vulnerability I mentioned with Port Royal, the same tiny sliver of land. Well, this is where the international airport sits here in Kingston. You can see the control tower there. So just 100 yards, a few hundred yards away from where these waves are crashing, the planes land, and it just, again, highlights the vulnerability here to the infrastructure of how close it is from these waves to the airport. And the unpredictability, of course, of what exactly Melissa is going to bring here, but it has the potential, of course, to be catastrophic and bring conditions that have never been seen here on the entire island of Jamaica before. Another vulnerability is right there, the Doppler radar. If you remember, Hurricane Laura, Category 4, that was shredded in Lake Charles from Hurricane Laura. So another vulnerability sitting just a couple hundred yards from the ocean.
Panic will never help, but preparation, meaning understanding what could be coming, that helps. Remember, a few miles matters when it comes to hurricanes. If you're closer to the center, you're going to get stronger winds. But Melissa's threats go way beyond the wind.
So when we hear Category 4, Category 5, major hurricanes, people really do think about the wind. But Melissa is a little bit different. It's not just about the wind. All factors, all types of hazards with hurricanes are coming with Melissa. So we have those winds that are going to likely be above 150 miles per hour. But then you have to take into account the fact of how slow it's moving, which is actually very rare for a hurricane in this part of the Caribbean to move this slowly. But what comes with that is rain. Intense, immense amounts of rain. Talking on the level of Hurricane Harvey. Jamaica is a mountainous country. And so when this water falls on these peaks, it's going to rush down. And when it comes here into Kingston, it will hit these rivers and streams. And you can see these are all made into concrete and stone. And that's good because it lets water rush into the ocean. It's what they've done in Los Angeles, for instance. But this is not built to handle 25, 30, 40 inches of rain. These systems are going to be overwhelmed. Any system would be overwhelmed.
Across Jamaica, people are doing what they can. They're nailing boards, buying food, water, but now comes the hard part, the waiting. Waiting to see if the forecasts are right, waiting to see what Melissa really has in store. That wait will stretch into midweek, a slow, torturous silence before the wind starts to speak.
Anywhere you look in this beautiful sunset, you know that lives are going to be different this time next week. To what extent? We still have a couple of days to find out.